Welcome to Run Free and Strong. I'm Reto. In today's video, I'll share with you a little bit of my injury history and what I've done the past 5 years to run with zero running injuries. I've created a montage of running and workout video footage to highlight some of the tips that I'll cover. I suffered through a debilitating plantar fasciitis injury in the summer of 2019 and was unable to run for many weeks. By September of that year, I'd fully recovered and resumed running, albeit short and slow runs. The plantar fasciitis injury was the latest in a series of running overuse injuries over the previous years, including metatarsal stress reactions and groin injuries. I took a step back to assess my running and make significant changes. Over the past 5 years, I've covered 10,000 miles, climbed and descended 600,000 vertical feet, and spent 1,800 hours of time on feet with zero running injuries. As a result, I've been able to consistently train and race and achieve many things I have never done before. It's been a blessing, and I am grateful. I would like to share my lessons learned and 7 tips for staying healthy and running consistently. We often hear the phrase, consistency is key, and that applies to running as well. Being able to train and race consistently will substantially improve our running performance over time. Training that is interrupted means we lose days, weeks, or even months, and our running may regress. In the worst case, after rehabbing from significant injuries, we may need to start our running with short, easy jogs. For runners who suffer multiple injuries, there's a mental cost as well, and each time it becomes a little bit more challenging to come back. What are the keys to reducing injury risk, especially for master runners? There's no secret sauce. What I'm about to tell you is nothing more than common sense. Sometimes we runners try to do too much or too little, or we don't think through cause and effect relationships. As a result, we may sustain injuries. It's important that we set goals and plan our training and racing. Goals, plans, and training can evolve and change over time. Without goals and a plan, how do we train? How do we measure improvement? And how do we create self-awareness that something may not be quite right and that we may need to adjust our plan and training? Tip number 1, run hard days hard and easy days easy. We often run the same or similar distance and pace on our runs. Probably too much and too hard with little variability and insufficient opportunity to regenerate and recover. I used to approach every run as a challenge and went hard and suffered multiple stress reactions, groin injuries, and finally plantar fasciitis. For example, if my 5K pace is 7 minutes per mile, I can get a really good aerobic stimulus running 9 to 10 minute miles on my medium and long runs. No need to go hard. 2 additional things for running hard days hard and easy days easy. Do strength training on hard days after you run, not on easy days. And do not cross train on easy days. Take it easy on those days. For me, the typical anatomy of a training week looks as follows. Tip number 2, recover and adapt. Improvement is a direct result of our bodies adapting to running stress over time, and when the stress accumulates faster than the body can adapt, we risk overuse injuries. The adaptive stress responses take up to 7 days after a specific workout, be that a lactate threshold track workout, a tempo run on the roads, or a long run with vertical gain on a technical trail. Our bodies adapt better with sufficient sleep and healthy nutrition and hydration. I can't emphasize enough the importance of sleep, nutrition, and hydration, and yes, I've taken a nap after a long run or challenging track workout. Tip number 3, integrate pre and post routines. To warm up before the run, I usually do lunges in 4 planes and leg swings in 2 planes and go easy the first mile. I'll run strides after my runs, not before, because of the lower body stress, and now I run strides in grass or on soft flat trails. I'll stretch for about 20 minutes after my run at home, and I use a functional flexibility approach, otherwise known as dynamic stretching with a yoga mat and a rope. No static stretching. There are runners who claim they don't need to warm up or cool down. Do what works best for you, but for me, it's helped me tremendously. Tip number 4, run different surfaces and distances. The possibilities are endless. Run on groomed or technical trails, asphalt roads, a 400-meter track, grass fields, and so on. Running 100% on asphalt roads can increase overuse running injuries and won't promote lower body strength and flexibility. Throughout my adult running years, I would run track workouts and everything else was on the roads. Over the past 5 years, probably 80% of my mileage is on soft trails, with the remainder on the track and roads. I was able to complete a Road 50K Ultra in April 2023, having trained primarily on trails. Pounding on hard surfaces that increases lower body stress on bones, joints, and soft tissue may lead to injury. Tip number 5. Align nutrition and hydration with running. Many runners consume a carbohydrate-rich diet and will carb load before, during, and after training and racing. Brings back memories of pasta dinners the night before marathons. Becoming an ultra runner and learning about the challenge to efficiently burn fat and fuel for races up to 100 miles in 30 hours had me re-examine my carb diet. I increased my fat and protein intake and reduced my carbs by transitioning to a keto-like diet. I'm not 100% keto. I still enjoy a backyard barbecue cheeseburger on a bun with a keto-friendly craft beer. I'm not advocating any particular diet, but merely suggesting that nutrition is integral to training, racing, and recovery, and it makes sense to examine what works and what doesn't. The ultimate validation for me was a JFK 50-mile ultramarathon in November 2021. My goal was to run fast and go sub 10 hours. I validated my nutrition plan with my 9 hours, 50 minutes finish, notwithstanding the 16 miles on the Appalachian Trail. I only fueled late in the race with potato chips and Coke to expedite the fuel conversion. I made it through aid stations very quickly and did not experience any gastrointestinal issues and felt great after crossing the finish line. Tip number 6, become a well-rounded runner. I'm passionate about running both as an integral part of my lifestyle, but also as a craft that should be learned, practiced, and improved. I like to think of myself as a student of running, humble and grateful for the many wonderful opportunities that running opens in front of me, and always receptive to learning and new ideas. I've shared my 4-year ultra journey in previous videos. 9 attempted ultras, 6 finishes including 300 milers, and 3 DNFs. I strive to become a well-rounded runner and want to run farther and faster than ever before. That means extending from 100-mile ultras to 200-mile ultras. Set a few time goals for the 50K to 50-mile ultra range and drop down and run a few 1-mile track races, 5K road races, and maybe even a 26.2-mile road marathon. Elite ultra runners are well-rounded. Kilian Jornet, arguably the best endurance athlete of all time, ran a 29:59 road 10K in 2020. Jim Walmsley owns 1,500 meter and 5,000 meter personal bests of 3 minutes 48 seconds and 13 minutes 52 seconds respectively, while enrolled at the Air Force Academy, and his marathon debut at the 2020 U.S. Olympic Trials in Atlanta. Walmsley ran 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 5 seconds for the marathon without specific training. Rising British ultra star Tom Evans ran 4 minutes, 3 seconds for the 1,500 meters while in the British Army and has a more recent 29:44 road 10K personal best. And finally, tip number 7, train the body and mind to hurt. There's another important belief in running besides consistency is key, and that is running is 99% mental. That means given a certain level of fitness, mental strength is a difference maker that's even more relevant for ultra runners. I have underestimated the importance of mental strength in running, and science research demonstrates that we can train and build our mental strength. I focused on doing that the past 5 years, and it has helped me with a more balanced approach to both physical and mental strength training. Particularly, it's helped me being more in tune with my body, and running by feel has helped me reduce the risk of overuse injuries. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this content useful, please give the video a big like. That's very much appreciated. If you're not already following our journey, consider clicking that subscribe button and hopping on board. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next one.